Hey there, and welcome to my new electronics lab. Yep, I moved to a new home where I now have this big electronics lab to create videos for the channel. This was a project with over 4 years that started way before I created the channel. I will show you everything about it in a dedicated video to commemorate the 5,000 subscribers milestone that, by the way, I'm so thankful to you for this channel achievement. Today I will review the Tooltop ET12S IR thermal imager and multimeter. I have it here for almost 2 months for review, but unfortunately it arrived on my moving process to this new home. It seems to be a very nice and affordable thermal imager with the bonus of having a multimeter. I can see here some useful usage scenarios. Before moving on, let me thank Tooltop that sent this device for review free of charge, and also you that sponsor the channel by using the channel affiliate links in the description or the channel links here in the screen before paying your purchases on AliExpress or Amazon. No extra cost for you, but a big help for the channel, so I really appreciate your help. So without further ado, let's do some testing.
Fly so high, I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
So as always, let me show you what is delivered with the box, how it comes packed. Let's open it. So in the package we have, let's start by this side, a small user manual. It seems those foldable by language instruction set. Yeah, not much here, but it seems to have most of the instructions or all of it, but yeah. Nothing much here. So in terms of test leads, it is delivered with a set of test leads. Okay, those are plastic. It seems flexible enough. Okay, not bad for a test lead. It seems to have some quality. Well, not top notch, but yeah. We have the protection for the contact zone, and also you have these caps that you can take off, or you can also cut it a bit so you have always the tip showing, but just seems okay. And finally we have here our unit. Yeah, it seems small. It will fit in a pocket. Yeah, we have here the sensor area. And on the front we have several indications of the functions for the multimeter. The power button, this will switch between the multimeter and the thermal imager. Hertz or percentage, probably in duty cycle, but we will see this all. Okay, let me start by seeing the back also. We have a lock unlock in here. Okay, let's do an unlock. Doesn't seem to need much. Whoops. The other side. It's unlocked. And we have a small battery in here. It seems that in the past it used to work with batteries, 3 batteries. For me personally, I prefer a lithium battery, a rechargeable one. Yeah, I know there is people that prefer batteries, but not me. Okay, it seems nice. Let's power this on and see what we have. So let's start and power this on. Okay, seems to be very fast to boot. I like it. The camera is starting. Yeah, it seems fast to respond. Okay, not immediate, but very fast to respond. Yeah, I like this. Okay, and what we have in here, let's test the device. We have 4 buttons. The first button will change between the camera and the multimeter. Okay. In terms of camera, it does not happen anything while pressing these buttons. Yeah. You have here a button to capture the screen, like this. As I tested this before, and this takes a while. I don't know why it takes so much time to save this image. As you can see, it's still processing. It should be faster. It has very little pixels, like 300 by 200 or something like that. So yeah, it's okay. So it's saved. I will show you in a bit where it starts. We have here the color palette in the side, and we have always something searching for temperature, as it's normal. Let's press here the settings. Yeah, like this. So in terms of settings, we have the system settings, backlight and sound, IR camera, multimeter, storage, USB mod, and the about page. Let's start with system settings. In the system settings, we can select what we will have on boot, if we want the IR camera or the multimeter. Nice option. We have also the automatic shutdown time. Right now it's 10 minutes, and the language, obviously it's in English. Let's go back, and we have the backlight and sound. In terms of brightness, we have 100%. And then you have the screen time that it will configure the time that it will shut the screen down to save energy, and also the sound with on or off, so it's for on right now. In terms of IR camera, you have the color palettes that you can choose. Also the IR unit, in terms of temperature unit, you have the Fahrenheit or Celsius, and the emissivity. I don't know what this is, but it's right now at 0.95. Also the update speed, it's in high mode. We can have it in low also. Let me move on. We have the multimeter. In the multimeter, you can choose which mode you prefer when entering the multimeter. Right now it's DC voltage. You can choose AC voltage, resistance, diodes, measurement, continuity, or capacitance. Also, this button can be selected here what it will do. You can configure it if it will do a hold of the values, or you can change it to use the range for manual or automatic range selection. And you have also, and I think I passed something. Yeah, you have also the storage. Remember that I took, or I saved the screen previously. So here it is, the image. If you have several, you can go left and right to browse the image. It's saved in BMP. Oh. And you can also delete the image. Let's delete it. Okay. Let's go back, and we have the USB mods. This should be used to connect to the PC. At least it will allow you to do a firmware upgrade. I don't know, it probably will give you access also to the images. And for last, you have the about page with the version, serial number, FIR resolution 90 by 120 pixels, and also the LCD with 240 by 320 pixels. That's it in terms of setup. Let's go back. So we can now change to multimeter. You have very nice letters, big letters for this device. In terms of multimeter, you cannot use the multimeter while charging, but you can use the camera. Okay, the camera, it will work while charging, but the DMM, it will not. It will give you a message saying do not use while charging, okay, because you are working with voltages. So what we have here, we have voltage DC, voltage AC, resistance, diode measurement, continuity, and capacitance. One interesting thing is, let me put this again in voltage DC. So one of the cool things about this graphic is you have here the play button. You just press in to start, and then it will appear here the pause and the stop button. And you will be able to see that he creates a graphic. Well, it's not like an oscilloscope or anything like that, but it will creates a graphic that will allow you to have the history recorded here of the voltage. You can even set some settings, like the sampling period, and if you have continuous or not sampling. Let's see. Yeah. So it's pretty nice to see this feature on a so simple multimeter. Okay, let's go back. I will now stop, and when you stop you can save also the results. Okay, so you have the simple mode, the history mode with the graphic, and you can also access the same options on the setup menu. Okay, moving on. In terms of menu, you have also the AC, the resistance, as I told you, so nothing more to do unless you test it. Let's see, right now you press hold, the value it's hold, and let me see if you press for a while hold if it will be there. No. So you can use this as hold, or you can really change it on the settings to use the range. It should allow you to select manual range, but no. Okay, seems interesting as a multimeter. Let's start to test this and see what we can do with it. So I have my setup already in place for voltage measuring. Let's start with that. I have my DC voltage here, my DC voltage calibrator, and also my faithful Siglent SDM3045X. So let's start. Every value that you see changing on the DC voltage calibrator will show immediately in the ET12S and also on my Siglent. Let's start with configuring these 2 voltage, and let's start with 1 volt, 2 volts, 3 volts. I will do this a bit faster because we will test up to 99 millivolts. Okay, so 4 volts, pretty near, 5 volts, 6, 7, oops, screen protector, 7 volts, 8, still very near, 9 volts, and we are back to 0. So now let's move on to millivolts. So let's start with 100 millivolts. So 200 millivolts, 300 millivolts. It still is very near for the values I got on my Siglent. 300, 400, 500. 500, it's almost spot on. 600, yes, spot on. 700 is it's there, spot on also. 800, really good. 900 millivolts, and back to 0. Let's move this to 10 millivolts, I think. Yeah, that's it, spot on. 20 millivolts, okay, very nice. 30, yeah. 40 millivolts, almost there. 50, oops, screensaver again. 50 millivolts. Yeah, it's almost, yeah, it's, yeah. Okay, so 60 millivolts, 70 millivolts, and 80. It has only a minor difference from the Siglent, and 90 millivolts, and these will go again to 0. I can go even to, yeah, 1 millivolt, to a lower scale, sorry, 2 millivolts, 3 millivolts, spot on, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and back to 0. So in terms of DC voltage, it seems very, very nice. Okay, guys, before moving on to AC voltage testing, let's see, and as usual when have a multimeter, I always test with this board also the millivolt voltage reference board, so we can have a clear indication between all the multimeters what are the results that we get here. Now is the time to talk about this video sponsor, PCBWay. I always use PCBWay for creating my boards with a professional factory quality, as you saw in my millivolt voltage reference board. It is very cheap to manufacture your PCBs on PCBWay. You can manufacture 10 PCBs for only $5. How awesome is this? And it is pretty easy also. Just insert here the PCB dimensions and you'll have an instant code. So when you want a PCB, visit PCBWay to get your code, and if it is your first time ordering from PCBWay, you can use our access link for a $5 credit. And don't forget, they also have component assembly service, 3D printing service, and much more. Okay, so let's start with this one. It's 10 millivolts. Let's see what we get. Okay, in Siglent we get 10 millivolts and 10.6. This is really, really nice in terms of low voltage. Okay, 25 millivolts, exactly the same you have on Siglent. This is one of the most accurate oscilloscopes in terms of millivolts that I, sorry, not oscilloscopes, multimeters that I had here. 50 millivolts, spot on. So 100 millivolts, it's 99.5, so 0.9, okay, acceptable. And we have 250 millivolts. Oops, screen protector again. So in 250 we have 254 in this one and 255 in that one. And that's curious because normally it should give something like 252. But if it gives the same values or near the values one from the other, I'm okay with it. So 500 millivolts, 501, okay, good enough. And 1 volt. In 1 volt we have 0.989. So it's spot on. And 2.5 volts, that one already switched the relay, and this one, yeah, 249.08, so if you round it, it's 249.1, exactly the same value that we have in here. Amazing. Let me just put in here the 5 volts, it's never 5 volts as you know, 4.81 and 4.81. Oh, there was a change here. Yeah, this is changing, but yeah, almost. This is that weird part that is always changing the values. 4.79, 4.81, 82. So pretty happy with this one. Never thought that it will be so accurate, to be honest. I was more focused on the thermal camera. Okay, moving on to voltage AC. Okay, I have my setup for testing AC voltage already in place. Let's select here voltage AC and carefully let's start by inserting this one and then the second test lead. Okay, so in terms of voltage, I have here 240. It seems that where I live now, it has a little more strength, the power. The voltage is higher. In my apartment, usually it was about 234. Here is about almost 240. Let's see if we have here, yeah, 49.96, 96 hertz, so 50 almost. And okay, that is cycle 49.4. Okay, very cool. Let's move on. So I will test now the capacitance. He already detected UF in terms of capacitance. Let me take this to 0. Yeah, everything to 0. This multimeter is only capable of testing up to 100 microfarads, so it's not much, but let's see if it's accurate getting there. Okay, the first value that I will use is 1 microfarad. Screensaver again. Let's move. Okay, and in terms of 1 microfarad, it doesn't seem to it's not in capacitance. Capacitance. Okay, 1 microfarad. Ooh, pretty cool. 2 microfarads. Seems pretty accurate. Let's go to 10. I believe this one it's always 9. Let's use this in the bottom. I think it's 10. Yeah, 10.77. So it's inconsistent with the other measurements that I did on in other oscilloscopes from different brands. Not oscilloscopes, multimeters. I am always getting this wrong. So let's move this to 20. Yeah, 30. Yeah, it seems to work pretty well. And the maximum that I can take this, I have to shut this on. Yeah, it's like one of these 100. Okay, it took a while to read, but it's reading 100 microfarads. Yeah, I don't know. If I try a second one, I think it will say it cannot read it. Yeah, over. Okay. In terms of measurements, seems really good. In terms of capacitance, I mean. So let's try resistance. Okay, in terms of resistance, I have here a reference board. I could use it also for testing capacitance, but I forgot about it. So let's move this to resistance. Yeah, and let's start with the first value, that is 10 ohms. Okay, 10.3.2. The reference is 10.00. The second value is 100.03 ohms. Yeah, pretty near. This thing is really accurate. Okay, moving on. It's 1.003K. I don't believe we don't have digits for all this resolution, but it's 1.0, so spot on. 9.995K, 9.9697, yeah, not far. Okay, let me press again. And the last value, otherwise it will shut down the screen. The last value is 100.06, and what we get 99.8. Okay, not too far also, so pretty accurate in terms of resistance also. Happy with it. Okay, let's move on and see the continuity. For that, we just change here the device. And let me shut up so we can hear the beep. Okay, it seems pretty fast to beep. And it takes less than a second or about that to display the values of resistance. Yeah, the beep, it's a little thin, but it's very audible. I don't know if it passes on the mic. Yeah, so also seems good. Okay, what else do we have? We're just missing the diode testing. Okay, for diode testing I have here a diode. Let's start with this one. It shows you 0.45, 548. And let's try another one, like a LED. This says that it only is able to test diodes up to 1.5 volts. So even if I see some light in the diodes, I don't know if it passes to the camera, it doesn't seem to test this. It says overload. And the same with another kind of diode. So yeah, you can test diodes up to 1.5 volts with this. I don't think I have here any LEDs below that voltage, so doesn't mind. I'm pretty happy up to this point with the multimeter. So let's now test the thermal camera. Okay, so as I showed you before, the camera works pretty well. Let me power this on again. It seems to respond quite fast. You can see here how it works, but this is mainly for electronic work. So what I did is I went to grab my board, the voltage reference board, and normally I power this with 12 volts, but today I'm powering with 29. Okay, so right now you can see that the L7805, it's already heating at 32 degrees. If you take this out of the image, you can also see that there is this is kind of annoying. There is two resistance that heat a bit more than the others. So maybe they are not in the right condition. And yeah, right now you can see that this is at 32 degrees because it's converting the energy for all the board. Let me put this at 12 volts as I normally use it. It should go down now a bit. Let me show you here in this camera, and yeah, it's lowering the voltage, the temperature as expected, because it's converting less energy. Oops. Okay, so let's put it like this, and as you can see, it's now lowering the temperature a bit because it's converting less energy. One curious fact is those two resistors there, that are also quite hot, I may say. And it seems that they are hotter with less energy transmitted to the board. Let me put this at 29 volts again. This is a little weird, but yeah. Yeah, and they seem to be less hotter. So as you can see, it's easy to identify components with problems like those two resistors. It doesn't mean they are with problems, but they are hitting a little bit more than the rest of the resistors. Yeah. So, but in terms of device, I think this device for the price, it's pretty good. You have an amazing device here, and the camera seems to work pretty well also. Okay, I think that's it. There is nothing much that you can do with this camera. If you guys in the future want to see me test something different, just tell me in the comments and I will do it. Yeah. Sorry for the reflection, but the light here, it's a little bit tricky. I'm gonna down the light to see if we have a better image. Okay, so I reduced the light to half. I think it will do the trick anyway. So yeah, again, as you can see, it's pretty weird. Only those two resistors heating up. But yeah, I think it's on the 2.5 volts conversion. Yeah. But that's the purpose of a thermal camera, as you know. Okay, moving on. Let's wrap this up by starting with the price. It's being sold at 120 euros or $131 in Tooltop official AliExpress shop, and if you follow the price of thermal imagers like I do, you know, for 92 by 120 resolution pixels of thermal imager, this is not a bad price at all. And you even have the multimeter as a bonus. The quality of the device is fairly good, nothing too fancy, but with a good size to carry in a pocket or a small protective bag. The multimeter is not the main topic of this device, at least for me, but it will do the job very, very well. It's very nice and easy to work, and it is also very precise, especially in low voltages. Also nice is the fact that it is USB Type-C rechargeable. Some people don't like it, they prefer batteries because in the field might be hard to recharge, but in my humble opinion, they must live probably in 1980, because nowadays you can have a backup power bank in your toolbox and it will allow you to recharge everything you need and operates in a rechargeable battery like this one. But what do I know? It is just my opinion. All in all, it was a very nice and smooth experience to work with it, and if you don't have a thermal imager, this one has a good ratio between price versus features versus quality, and if you are interested in one, don't forget that you have the product affiliate link in the description, and you can also use the affiliate access links here on the screen for your shopping. No extra cost for you, a big help for the channel. So thank you for your help. And if this video was in any way useful to you, please smack that like button, and if you haven't already, why not consider subscribing? That's all I have for you today. Thank you for being with me until the end of the video, and I hope to see you on my next one. Thank you.